Ladies and gentlemen, feast your eyes on the best looking t-shirt money can buy. Get Off My TV version 2. Now including Big Show, Kane, Ryback, and the Black Sheep, Braun Strowman. Available now for $19.99. ProWrestlingTees.com/offthescript. Go get yours today and join the revolution. Join the movement and wear it with pride every single Monday night during Monday Night Raw. Get Off My TV. Once again, now available through my online shop at ProWrestlingTees.com/offthescript. What is going on, guys? JD from New York here, and this is WWE Off The Script. This is episode 110, part number 2 for your Saturday morning. Thank you guys so much for joining me right here on the number one fucking podcast for everything WWE, right here on YouTube.com, man. I got a ton of important shit to go over, and a lot of it includes Shane McMahon. We're going to go over a bunch of shit right before WrestleMania, so I'll get you guys filled in on all that news. But before that, let me go over a few things. A few of you were actually confused. About my podcast on iTunes. Now, I am on iTunes if you are on an Apple device, okay? If you prefer an Android, I am on PodBean, Stitcher Radio, and AudioBoom. Those websites all have apps in the Google Play Store. Make sure you guys download those apps, subscribe to Off The Script, and the podcast will be automatically downloaded to your device, whether it's a tablet or a phone or a smart TV, wherever the fuck you're watching me. It will be automatically downloaded once you sign in, okay? iTunes is for those Apple users. I don't use an Apple phone anymore. I have a Note 5. I'm with the Android family now for a little bit. Still testing the waters. Not sure if I'm ever going to go back to Apple. I don't know, man. I felt like I needed to change. But if you guys aren't on Apple, iTunes is the number one place to listen to podcasts. All right, we are trending new and newsworthy. We are a 5-star rated podcast. So if you guys are listening to me, and I don't know when I'm going to be uploading, consistently. I think it's going to be Tuesday. I'm starting to work on Tuesday with the podcast. If you guys are on iTunes, don't hesitate to leave a 5-star rating, man. I greatly appreciate it. It gets the name and the recognition of the podcast out there. We are trending new and newsworthy. And like I said, we are a 5-star rated podcast, man. We're nearing 100 reviews. So make sure you guys leave some feedback and a comment and a 5-star rating on iTunes, man. I would greatly appreciate it, and it's an absolutely excellent way to get the name of the podcast out there to a wider audience. All thanks to you guys. So make sure you guys do that. iTunes, Stitcher Radio, AudioBoom, and PodBean. Make sure you guys go check that out. Very, very different from what I do here. Some similar sequences, some similar parts, but mostly it is definitely an overall different experience on the iTunes podcast, okay? Twitter. If you guys are not following me on Twitter, please do so. We got a big weekend coming up with WrestleMania next weekend at JD from NY206. If you guys are not subscribed to the channel, I don't know what you're waiting for, man. Hit that subscribe button. We just hit 44,000 subscribers, and we are almost at that milestone of 50. That means we'll be halfway to our destination, our goal of 100,000, man. It's going to happen, and I'm going to fucking try my hardest to make sure it happens as soon as possible, man. ProWrestlingTees.com/offthescript if you want official merchandise for this very podcast. Thank you to all those who ordered t-shirts this month. You guys are absolutely hitting a grand slam this month as far as t-shirt sales, man. Thank you so much, and continue to support with a t-shirt, man. Join the revolution. Join the movement of Get Off My TV. ProWrestlingTees.com/offthescript. And finally, guys, Thank you for supporting Juicy Steen. And Wrestle Rumble is coming back for WrestleMania. I'll leave you all the info down below. If you guys want to win money during WrestleMania and put your knowledge to the test of the WWE product during this terrible road to WrestleMania, Wrestle Rumble is coming back with probably some of the biggest prizes they've ever done. I don't know what the prizes are going to be for first, second, or third place, but they are taking entries right now, man. WrestleRumble.com. All right, go visit them. Links will be down in the description below. And they do have a Twitter as well if you guys want any additional information. All that shit will be down in the description. All right, now, let's get on with the podcast, man. Let's get on with the news and rumors. Got a lot of stuff about Shane McMahon. Is the WWE locker room upset about Shane McMahon taking a top spot at WrestleMania? This is something that is very interesting, and I certainly have to give my 2 cents here. I did discuss this a little bit on Monday Night Raw review, so this is according to Jim Ross, okay? Everyone has been excited so far, very excited about Shane McMahon's return to the WWE and his upcoming match with The Undertaker at WrestleMania. That a few have been focusing on how the WWE locker room has been affected by Shane McMahon's return. WWE Hall of Famer Jim Ross recently featured on the latest Pro Wrestling Illustrated podcast episode, and he gave his opinion about whether the WWE locker room was upset about Shane McMahon swooping in to take a top spot against The Undertaker at WrestleMania 32. And I quote, this is directly from Jim Ross. It's not the first time and it's not the last time that people are getting passed over. I found out this. Wrestlers that have complained regularly, loudly, discreetly loud, about their spot being taken by a non-regular, normally didn't work hard enough or smart enough during the year to keep their spot. I heard that same thing. What do you think would happen in Bill Watts' territory when he would bring in Andre the Giant to work the Superdome, or Dusty Rhodes, or Tommy Rich, or the NWA champion? You'd get the same thing. The guys in the locker room bitching and moaning that somebody was coming in and taking their payday. At least these guys who are on the roster are getting a weekly check, so they're still going to get paid for their efforts or non-efforts at WrestleMania. Is it the ideal scenario? No. The cure is to make yourself indispensable and invaluable for the next one. That is the rumor going around, that the locker room is upset with Shane McMahon's involvement at WrestleMania. Now, I discussed this on Monday Night Raw review. I discussed this because I was upset with the way the WWE booked the ladder match for Kevin Owens at WrestleMania 32. You got the guys in there like Zack Ryder, Sin Cara, Stardust. Now, nothing against those guys. I actually am a fan of Zack Ryder. I love what he's doing with Mojo Rawley down in NXT. I love the Hype Bros. I think they are a very, very good tag team. I love Cody Rhodes, man. I think Cody Rhodes is mega talented. I'm not too keen on the Stardust gimmick, and I think we need to see Cody Rhodes back. I think the Stardust gimmick needs to go away. But all in all, Cody Rhodes is a talented guy. Stardust has done nothing for me. I have not invested my time, and I have not become interested in Stardust, okay? Sin Cara. I don't care about Sin Cara outside of the Lucha Dragons. And WWE isn't doing anything with the United States Championship. So why are you pushing Kalisto and Sin Cara away from one another when their ideal scenario, when their money-making scenario is as a tag team? Sin Cara has done nothing for me as a singles guy in WWE. He hasn't done anything at all to deserve an IC title match. Neither has Stardust, neither has The Miz, neither has Zack Ryder. How many times in the last year has Zack Ryder been on Monday Night Raw? You could probably count all on one hand, and it probably doesn't even eclipse 5. Okay? My point is, nobody should be upset about Shane McMahon being in the top spot at WrestleMania. Because if you were that good, And I'm not completely blaming this on the WWE wrestlers. I'm not blaming this on the guys that go out on TV and bust their ass. I'm not, because a lot of the blame is on Vince McMahon. A lot of the blame is on Kevin Dunn. A lot of the blame is on WWE Creative for not giving these guys something to do, for not utilizing the talent that they have. But Zack Ryder doesn't belong on a WrestleMania. He doesn't deserve to be on a WrestleMania. I'm sorry. That might hurt some feelings, but that's just the way I see it. Okay? Sin Cara does not belong on a WrestleMania. He does not deserve to be on a WrestleMania. Cody Rhodes doesn't belong on a WrestleMania as Stardust. Stardust doesn't belong in a WrestleMania match. I'm sorry. That's just the way it is. Now, these guys work all year round. These guys bust their ass on house shows. Granted, they are on the road. So some of you might say that, JD, how can you say that? These guys work all year round. WrestleMania is a payday. That's not the way I see it, man. The way I see it and the way things transpire to me as a viewer are on Monday Night Raw. If you're not a Kevin Owens, if you're not a John Cena, if you're not a Chris Jericho, if you're not an AJ Styles, listen, this is the big boy time, bro. This is WrestleMania. Especially with WrestleMania being in Dallas this year and WWE needing to fill 100,000 seats. You're not going to do that with a Zack Ryder and a Stardust, okay? Now, this match is going to be decent. Not going to be the greatest fucking ladder match I've ever seen. But this is WWE merely trying to get everybody on the card so that they get a payday. I was never for that motto. Everybody has to be on the card, okay? And I agree with Jim Ross. If you were so great, if you have a problem with Shane McMahon being on the card, then why don't you do something about it? Go out there and give me a 5-star match in the fucking 10 minutes that they give you on Monday Night Raw. Make me believe in your character. Instead of going out there like a Ryback and not showing a goddamn fucking emotion, showing as if you don't care, how are you going to fucking complain and bitch and moan that Shane McMahon is on WrestleMania? Meanwhile, the guy comes back, and I haven't heard anybody receive that type of ovation since Daniel Bryan. Please, if you were so great, you were out there every Monday night. How come you're not getting that type of reaction? Again, I don't blame it solely on the individual. I don't blame it on the WWE superstar. Most of this is to blame on WWE, creative writing, Vince McMahon, Kevin Dunn. Not everybody belongs on a WrestleMania. Not everybody deserves to be on a WrestleMania. And that's the truth. The truth may sting. The truth is going to hurt. Okay? The divas on this show, on this WrestleMania show, Lana and Naomi and Tamina. I mean, if you haven't been given anything to do all year, what makes you think you deserve to be on WrestleMania? WrestleMania is the culmination of everything that's been going on in the year. If you have nothing important to give me at WrestleMania, I don't care. I really don't. Seriously. That's just the way I think, and that's my mentality. Okay? Seriously. WWE really hasn't done themselves any favors this year with WrestleMania, so they're booking WrestleMania like a glorified house show. So maybe all of these people do belong on WrestleMania because nothing is important. Nothing feels important. WWE hasn't made anything seem important outside of Shane McMahon and The Undertaker. But listen, you're not a McMahon. You're going to bitch and moan about Shane McMahon being in the main event and he's not an active wrestler. He's gone for 7 years and now he's in the main event. Cry me a river. When you get a reaction like Shane McMahon, then you are able to bitch and moan to the proper people. People complaining about The Rock coming back. Rock is the biggest Hollywood movie star that there is. Why wouldn't WWE put him in a main event spot as long as he's healthy? He's The Rock. You're not. Brock Lesnar, same thing. People complaining that Brock Lesnar's part-time and he's got main event level matches every fucking pay-per-view. It's Brock Lesnar. You're not a Brock Lesnar. Nobody will ever amount to what Brock Lesnar is. There will only be one Brock Lesnar. There will never be another Brock Lesnar to come around. Unless you are Brock Lesnar's type of superstar, shut the fuck up. Same thing with The Undertaker. Nobody has any right to bitch and moan. I fully agree with Jim Ross in the fact that if you're going to complain regularly, if you're going to complain loud about your spot being taken by a non-regular, especially someone like Shane McMahon who's been gone for 7 years, you did not work hard enough. Okay? And that goes for WWE as well. That goes for the creative writing. They did not work hard enough to get that guy over. Plain and simple. Not everybody belongs on WrestleMania. Not everybody belongs on the card. There's a reason why you have a 2-hour pre-show. Move all this fucking junk to the pre-show, and the people that we don't care about, and the people that haven't been on TV all fucking year, who WWE somehow now, within 2 weeks, wants us to give a shit about, they don't belong on the main card. They belong on the pre-show. Not everybody belongs on WrestleMania. Not everyone deserves to be at WrestleMania, and that is the fucking truth. Seriously. If you're not a money-making draw, you do not belong on WrestleMania. If you have nothing important to do, if you haven't been given anything important to do, and more importantly, if you haven't been on fucking TV for 50 weeks out of the 52 weeks, you don't belong on WrestleMania. Plain and simple. So Shane McMahon getting heat? Jealousy. That's all that is. That is all that is. Let me know what you guys think about that. Details on the original scripting for Shane McMahon versus The Undertaker. As noted on Monday Night Raw, the stakes for The Undertaker versus Shane McMahon's match at WrestleMania 32 has been raised. If The Undertaker doesn't win, then it'll be his last WrestleMania. I think McMahon wanted to be specific by saying it was his last WrestleMania and not his last match, since Taker is scheduled to be on the European tour for WWE next month. It will be interesting to see how the crowd in Dallas reacts to this match, because you have two baby faces, and the fans are supposed to want Shane to win because he will take over Monday Night Raw, but there will be a large chunk of fans that will not want to root against The Undertaker. Dave Meltzer reports that the original scripting for this storyline called for Shane McMahon to say that he won, that he would fire Triple H, or if he won, he would fire Triple H and Stephanie McMahon the next night on Monday Night Raw following WrestleMania 32. That was supposed to be in the script for Shane's most recent appearance, but none of that was mentioned. So how does WWE book the finish of this match? I don't think The Undertaker, me personally, should ever lose another WWE pay-per-view, especially if it's at WrestleMania. But if the plan is for Shane to take over Raw, one idea could have Taker beat up Shane throughout the match, and then someone gets involved. Shawn Michaels, like I proposed, maybe he's the special guest referee. Instead of putting him in the match with Triple H and Roman Reigns, I think it makes more sense to put Shawn Michaels in a special guest referee role with The Undertaker, because the history there is just unbelievable. So if you have Vince appoint a special referee in Shawn Michaels, who he thinks is going to call it right down the middle, you can have Shawn Michaels just go and betray Vince and fuck over Vince and give the company to Shane, and you can set up a retirement match for next year with The Undertaker and Shawn Michaels. This is my idea. This is my proposed idea. Super kick, because Shawn Michaels is still salty. He is still jealous that The Undertaker retired him and beat him 2 years in a row at 25 and 26. He now has an opportunity to stick it to The Undertaker. He tried it. He tried it with Triple H inside Hell in a Cell. I thought the streak was over in that Hell in a Cell when fucking Shawn Michaels hit him with a super kick and Hunter hit him with a pedigree. I thought it was over right there. I thought Triple H was going to take the streak. One of the best moments in the last couple of WrestleManias. It happened then. It happened then. That Shawn Michaels was in cahoots with Triple H because they're good friends. They're best friends. So you can have Shawn Michaels come back this year and do the same thing, but this time exact his revenge. Now, that's the only way I would accept a loss at WrestleMania for The Undertaker. That's the only way. Other than that, I don't think The Undertaker should be losing, period. But I don't know what WWE is doing. To me, it looks like they backed themselves into a corner here. I would have never made this stipulation. It really is fucking stupid, to be honest with you. You know, nobody really expects The Undertaker to lose after that type of announcement. Nobody really expects The Undertaker to lose with that type of stipulation now. I think it kind of makes the match a little bit predictable, but WWE certainly does have a way around it. They could have Shane McMahon win by some outside interference, which I'm assuming there will be. Whether it's Shawn Michaels, whether it's John Cena, whether it's Sting, whether it's the Bullet Club, I don't know. I really don't know. Shane McMahon can win. He could take over Monday Night Raw. He can fire Triple H and Stephanie. We can have a brand split. And Shane McMahon can hire The Undertaker back and pretty much abolish this stipulation and have The Undertaker compete at WrestleMania. Maybe they can set up something for next year. Maybe they could go that route. I don't know. So, there is a way around it. I just don't know how WWE is going to book this match. Certainly, it's going to be the main event, okay? Now, Shawn Michaels is an idea. Cost the Undertaker the match. Or Taker takes a dive for the good of the company. If Shane is in charge, then what stops him from, like I said, reinstating the Undertaker? So, those are the original scripting plans for Shane McMahon versus the Undertaker. Obviously, WWE doesn't know what's going to happen yet. They don't have a concrete ending for this match. But, as far as this match goes, Shane McMahon versus the Undertaker will main event, according to sources, at this point in time, will main event WrestleMania 32 over the world title match. WWE has been selling us a lot of interesting stories heading into WrestleMania 32. We know about Roman Reigns versus Triple H very well because WWE is trying to shove Roman down our throats, and the WWE fans really aren't being receptive to it, okay? The problem is that the match is not something WWE fans wanted, and it's not something that they want, period. Many didn't want to see Roman Reigns in the main event of WrestleMania once again. It was a match many wanted to see, the Game versus Reigns, but not in the main event of WrestleMania. Maybe if the title wasn't on the line, maybe if it was just a grudge match, it would be a little bit more receptive to the audience. But being that it's for the world title and people assume Roman Reigns is going to take the title, that's where the issue comes in. It wasn't even WWE's plan, but injuries resulted in this match happening right now for WrestleMania. Many felt that Shane McMahon vs. The Undertaker was the major story heading into the show. It is the storyline that fans are paying attention to, and that was made ever clear when Vince McMahon added the stipulation that if The Undertaker lost at WrestleMania, it would be his last WrestleMania. He never said it would be The Undertaker's last match, but rather said it would be his last WrestleMania. It is pretty much the same thing, because if you really think about it, Undertaker wrestles once a year. So, if he's not going to be at WrestleMania, he might as well be retired. I know we wrestled at Hell in a Cell. Those instances, he wrestled at SummerSlam, those instances were pretty much buy rates, and WWE wanted to get subscription numbers up. So they used The Undertaker's name and presence, especially in a match with Brock Lesnar, to boost subscriptions for the network in those months, especially at Hell in a Cell. They built that entire pay-per-view off the final encounter of The Undertaker and Brock Lesnar. But if you really think about it, if The Undertaker's not going to wrestle at WrestleMania, more than likely, he's retired. So, it would be his last if he does loses, okay? It's the same thing. If he loses, not going to be at WrestleMania, might as well retire. Stipulation like putting Taker's career on the line makes this a major match and a must-see match. While Dean Ambrose versus Brock Lesnar could main event, no. Never will I see that as a main event, and I don't think that match will main event WrestleMania, even though there are rumors out there slightly. Why would it main event? Because Brock Lesnar's in the main event. He's a big name, and they want a big name in the main event. The match means nothing. It's a grudge match. There's nothing on the line. Ambrose Lesnar. It's going to happen in the middle of the card. It's going to be an attraction match, nothing more. It was felt among many backstage that Shane versus Taker deserved to be the main event of WrestleMania 32. Vince McMahon was all for it, but Triple H, of course, with his ego, wanted the match with Reigns to close the show. That would be a mistake. You guys know why. I don't have to explain myself yet again. While Reigns versus Triple H could very well end the show just fine, the end of the match is not going to send fans home happy or surprised. Vince did not want to end the show in boos, and that's exactly what's going to be coming if Roman Reigns closes the show. Meanwhile, McMahon versus The Undertaker would result in a very good reaction regardless. Now, according to Cage Side Seats, it appears that Vince and plans, according to WWE, they plan to close the show with this match over the WWE Championship match. This would be the third time in the last 15 years that WWE has decided to go with something that is not the WWE Championship. The last match to not involve the world title was The Rock versus John Cena at WrestleMania 28. Before that, Shawn Michaels versus The Undertaker at WrestleMania 26 main evented, and that was Shawn Michaels' last match. It makes total sense to end the show with the Hell in a Cell. If Shane wins, he takes control of Raw, and thus the company is his. This could be WWE's reset. Similar to what Days of Future Past did with the X-Men franchise, WWE could erase all storylines and begin new following a McMahon win. Shane then could begin to give us the programming we've been asking for, and it could then lead to a WWE brand split, which is something all fans have hoped for, but it's not the right time. I don't need to explain myself again. All of this being said, Shane winning changes a lot of things. Putting Undertaker's career on the line seems quite major, but it only makes that match much bigger. It also makes you wonder where WWE will go with this match. Your brain tells you that they will have Shane McMahon win against The Undertaker, but then the career of the dead man is on the line. There's also no way that Shane could beat The Undertaker at WrestleMania inside Hell in a Cell on his own. How could Shane accomplish such a thing? Brock Lesnar beat Taker, but that was Brock Lesnar. Lesnar is a freak athlete. That is once-in-a-generation type of talent. Shane is a man in his 40s who is known for being crazy and doing whatever it takes to win a match. But he's not a Lesnar type who can match up well with The Undertaker. That means help will be needed for Shane to win this match. How that help comes, I gave it to you. Cena, Sting, Michaels, Bullet Club. Something's going to happen. We just don't know what. This is what makes having this match main event the show such a major deal. It is rumored that the likes of John Cena and even Sting could help Shane McMahon win. Cena would have been there only to help set up a match with Undertaker at WrestleMania 33 or possibly SummerSlam in Brooklyn. However, Taker in a loss could not give us that match. Sting then makes the most sense, as he always wanted The Undertaker and also a very anti-authority figure. He's been at the authorities' throat since his arrival in 2014 and would love to be the man who helped to end them while also taking out The Undertaker. Many believe that if Shane McMahon were to win, the stipulation added for Taker would be reversed due to the power Shane would then hold. However, that is up in the air. A storyline could easily be thrown in if WWE wanted Taker back or if the Phenom wanted to wrestle again. By all indications, this match being in Texas would be the perfect retirement. However, fans do not want Shane to be the last opponent for The Undertaker, as there are many better people to put in that place to retire The Undertaker. So, that is the very, very latest on Shane McMahon and The Undertaker closing WrestleMania. A lot of that stuff I discussed on my Monday Night Raw review. A lot of that stuff I have been repeatedly saying throughout the weeks, if you guys have been paying attention. What do you think? I'm going to leave you a poll in this video. I'm going to leave you a poll. You're going to click this little icon in the top right, okay? You're going to click that icon, and you're going to vote. I'm going to leave the question for you guys to vote on. Do you think Hell in a Cell should main event WrestleMania? It's going to be yes or no. Obviously, my answer is yes. You cannot have Roman Reigns. And I state this once again. I don't give a shit if you're a fan of Roman Reigns. I don't give a shit if you are a fucking WWE elitist. I don't give a shit if you want to go by the books. This is one of those years where you do not go by the books. This is a completely unorthodox WrestleMania. This WrestleMania is so far outside the books. It's unbelievable. Roman Reigns versus Triple H does not deserve, and it does not belong in WrestleMania to close this show at all. This will be a fucking disaster. Roman Reigns is not anywhere close. He's not even fucking a fourth close to where WWE wants him to be as the face of the company. He will repeatedly get booed. He's going to be booed out of fucking Dallas. Triple H is going into this match supposedly the villain, but he's going to come out the face. Roman Reigns is going in supposed to be the face, and he's coming out the villain. Completely different roles that WWE had originally planned. Roman Reigns is going to be completely eaten alive by WWE fans at WrestleMania. He does not belong in the main event. He's not ready for the main event. He's not ready for the WWE title in his current state. Maybe if WWE changes plans, like I've been stating for fucking months, for him to be a heel, then maybe things would be okay. Okay? But as far as WWE booking him and planning him and grooming him for this moment, this night, obviously, all has failed. Nothing has worked. I thought the Royal Rumble was going to at least be something good. They even fucked that up. They fucked it up dating back to the Survivor Series, and you guys know the rest. I don't need to go on and on and on. I feel like I'm fucking a broken record. Not going to talk about it again. Hell in a Cell, Shane McMahon versus The Undertaker deserves to close the show. More importantly, this needs to close the show. Because Roman Reigns is just not going to send fans home happy. And if you want a riot on your hands at WrestleMania, if you want an ugly scene to close that show on the WWE Network, then by all means you put Roman Reigns in the main event and you have him close that show. Because if WWE wants to save their network, if they want to save their company, if they want to save this event, they will keep the WWE title match far away from closing this show as humanly possible. In fact, this is even bigger than the WWE title. This is for control of the company. Okay? The WWE title only exists because the company exists. Look at it that way. Monday Night Raw is the most important thing in WWE. Everything that happens on Raw has a direct impact on the rest of the company. So, this match being in control of Raw, obviously, the WWE title is part of that. You need to close the show with Undertaker and Shane McMahon. And that's all I'm going to say about that. Hopefully you guys understand why. If not, then really you are a lost soul and there's no saving you. I don't need to explain why. You guys know why. And that is off the script, guys. That is off the script. I got news tomorrow about the returns. Updated news. This is absolutely updated news, man. Like right now type news. John Cena, Seth Rollins, Cesaro, Randy Orton. Everybody, every one of them. I got updated returns to the WWE. All in one report. You're not going to want to miss that, all right? Randy Orton, Cena, Rollins, Cesaro. Coming at you tomorrow. I got news on Daniel Bryan. And a concussion lawsuit that was against WWE now dropped. And WWE pulled Daniel Bryan from every date that he was scheduled for. What the fuck is going on? I got the full story on what's going on. And a retirement is happening on Monday Night Raw following WrestleMania. Who is it? I'm sure you know who it is. But if you don't know, we'll be talking about that as well on Off the Script. Thank you guys so much for joining me right here on Part 2. I will be back with Part 3, as always, 11 a.m. on Sunday morning. Until then, this is JD. Thank you guys for watching. Hit that thumbs up and show some support. 44,000 subscribers strong. Make sure you check the description out. iTunes, WrestleCrate, Wrestle Rumble, Twitter. Subscribe to the channel, ProWrestlingTees.com. And if you missed anything previously on Off the Script, everything you need is down in the description below, man. I'm JD. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you right back here on Easter Sunday. Talk to you then.